Hi guys, my name is Keisha. I'm the owner of Brows and Beauty Room. Today's topic is how to get booked and busy. I've been in business for about 3 years. I've done clients such as Don from Love and Hip Hop and other celebrities as well. I started from my home, so I started from ground zero. I didn't have much clientele. I was new in the area and I built myself up for a year, ended up getting my building and like going strong from there. So I really wanted to do this webinar so I can teach, just give other upcoming artists and business owners tips and advice on how they can get booked and busy as well, because it's not easy, especially if you started where I've started. I also have along with me Miss Tasha Roby. She is the owner of Your Lux Beauty. She has done celebrities as well, such as Tamar Braxton. So she has tons of advice to give and knowledge to spread as well. So I felt like she would be a perfect person to do this webinar with. So let's go ahead and get started. I do want to touch on from like the beginning, the very beginning. How did you, Miss Tasha, start your business from school? You are a licensed esthetician and you specialize in skin, etc. So tell me how you went from school, graduating school, and getting your first client.
I went to Atlanta Institute of Aesthetics, and so a lot of people who've gone through aesthetic school knows we have something that's called clinic, and that's when people of the outside community comes into the school, and we basically do services on them that we've learned in our previous modules. So what I would do during our clinic times, I would pretty much get into the client's ears and letting them know, like, hey, after school, when I graduate, I'm gonna have a business. I'm gonna have a solid business, and so I'll be able to do this outside of school, so we can continue your treatments and stuff like that. So, and I also did a lot of kind of reaching out type of marketing. I did a lot of guerrilla marketing while I was in school, and I'm sure we'll talk about that later, what that means. And so, what I used to do is I used to get in my family members' ears as well, and kind of like work on them at home, so to pretty much get all my chops up, and then have them reach out to their friends and then their friends, etc. So around the time I graduated, I pretty much I had at least like 50 people underneath my belt at that point. So when it was time for me to transition from the school into the actual treatment room, I already had kind of like a solid clientele to kind of build off of and market pretty much.
Okay, cool. So how long did it take you? What was that
I
time
would
frame gap?
say
What did
a
that look like for you?
solid year. I would say a solid year. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So for me, it was a little bit, it was kind of the same. Again, I started from my home in my living room, my tiny little apartment, and I didn't know anybody in the area. You know what I mean? So I didn't have the friends and family to start off with. I had strangers, complete strangers that I found on the internet, whether it's Facebook Marketplace, um, Groupon, or I've even advertised on Craigslist at one point in time, just anywhere where I feel like I can get clients. And that was pretty much my jump start. So after that, I went to get my license in permanent makeup, and I just started my business doing ombre brows. And then I ended up getting the suite and etc. When I say I hustled my butt off getting clients, because I didn't have that jump start. You know what I mean? I didn't have no one around me to help me, to guide me. Um, it was just me and trial and error. You know what I mean? Um, but the time frame, I would say for me, um, it was 3 months. 3 months from the time I was in my living room to the time that I got my license. December, January. Yeah, it was 3 months. 3 months. Um, yeah, that's basically it as far as how I got my first clients, is just the same ones that I've got on the internet. For me, that was my best bet just because I didn't know anyone in the area. And like you said, the referrals, I got those by those clients, the people that I met through, Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace is a huge market. It's tons of people, tons of traffic. People sleep on Facebook Marketplace. And for me personally, I think the best way to go about things financially is do everything for free as far as advertising. Look for the free advertisements as far as, the Facebook Marketplace, the Groupon, anything you don't have to put money into off rip. You know what I mean? That's the smarter way to move about it, because you put your money in all these ads and etc., and you really don't know how to use ads like that, you're wasting your money. Like, you have to know how to do these things so that you're not wasting your money. You need to know your target audience in order to do these things. There's just so many things that comes with strategically advertising, especially when your money is on the table. You have to make sure all that, is taken care of, and that these things first before putting your money into it. Yeah, so also I wanted to ask you as well. We talked about getting our first clients. You said that you did the referrals. I did the internet. At what point do you feel like, okay, like I'm getting booked, like this is working for me?
I would say at least like 3 to 4 months solid after I moved into my first suite. Because then, a lot of people don't want to book with you until they know that you have solid work and you have a solid location. So I would say it took me about 3 to 4 months to really get my chops going and to really get my name out there, to get a pretty solid clientele where I was booked. I was every day that I was open, I was pretty much booked. And also, I didn't start doing Groupon or I did Facebook Marketplace as well. I didn't start doing that until a little bit later. So after I had a solid clientele, then that's when I learned about the Groupon and everything like that. And it's a lot of different things out there too that I've also tried with ClassPass and stuff like that. And those are really like the booster as well for that. And also Google, I got my Google presence up, and as soon as everybody that came into my shop, I pretty much had them. I gave them incentives for Google reviews. So a lot of the demographics of around 30 to 50, though that age group, they find a lot on Google. So I use Google as a solid engine for my business. And I would say after I got a Google presence, it really took off. And it took about 3 to 4 months to really get a presence on there.
Talked about listing your business on Google. What other things do you feel like are key to your success in getting a steady clientele?
um, Instead of talking, like, other than the social media part, I'm going to talk about the guerrilla marketing, because I feel like guerrilla marketing is a type of marketing that a lot of
Yeah.
people leave out, or a lot of people think it's too much of hard work. But there was like little different things. Like, I would go to like the mall, and I'll stand in the middle of the food court, and I would airdrop my business to everybody's airdrop who came up. I would stick my business card in card slots at gas stations. I would put stickers here. Hey, if you find me, you get so and so amount off of a service. So different things like that. That pretty much really catapulted a lot of people that I personally probably wouldn't have been able to reach on social media due to the demographics that they're not a 28 to 29-year-old Black young female. I was reaching a lot of like Indian people, Korean people. It was a lot of different people that wouldn't have been on my social media.
How did you speak on the demographics? How do you think the demographics plays a part in your advertisements? Why do you feel like you need to know your target audience in order to advertise? Or do you even feel like you need to know your target audience
Yes,
in order to advertise?
your target audience is like the number one base of your business. Only because if you don't know your target audience, then your whole entire marketing plan or your business plan, it no longer makes sense, because everybody has a certain
Right.
type of demographic that they're catering to. And even how your business looks, the name of your business, it has a lot to do with your target audience. You know, where I'm not throwing,
Exactly.
any shade or anything, but if it's like a business that's like the Lash Trap or anything like that, you should know your target audience for that exact type of, demographic of business.
Just everything transitions to your target audience. Whoever your target audience is, that's who you're catering to. Those are the people who are more than likely to book with you. Um, yep. So I definitely agree that you
Mm-hmm.
definitely should know your target audience. So moving forward, we talked about Facebook Marketplace. We talked about Groupon. We kind of touched on the Instagram and Facebook ads. I feel like to do the free things first and then later on to do the Instagram and Facebook ads. One, because if you don't have a lot of content, um, it's really no purpose of doing the Facebook and Instagram ads because you're wasting your money. People want to see what they are booking. You know what I mean? A solid portfolio will help you. People will spend 8 seconds on your profile before they exit out if your location isn't in the bio, what you do exactly isn't in the bio, your name needs to be clear, etc. Your contact information, call of action. Call of action means, okay, what do you want potential clients to do once they reach your profile? You want them to book with you? You want them to message you? What is it that you want them to do? And that's what you should put in your bio. Make it easy for them. Because if you make it like a scavenger hunt where they have to go through so many links, they're just going to exit out and go to someone who is plain in sight. Like it's very easy to
Absolutely.
get to where they need to go. um, you need to offer them a problem, a relatable problem that you can solve, or not even only you can solve, that you can solve easily or in a different way. Because there is so many lash artists, there are so many brow techs. What are you doing that makes you different or stand out? And you offer that to them.
One of the things that I've learned as well are tripwires. Um, every major beauty corporation or major business, once you go to their website, there's a tripwire. So pretty much, even if someone doesn't book with you right then, you should have that person's information in your pocket. So just in case you come out with something that they might be interested in, or like a deal and steal, because a lot of times people are just online and they just kind of searching around. But you should definitely have a tripwire. So tripwire is like when they go to your page, it's like, hey, sign up for a VIP email list for doing so and so percent off. Then okay, cool. Now you have their information. Now they're pretty much not your client, but they are on your list. So they have eyes, that you have their eyes pretty much. So tripwires have really, really, really helped me. And I have a huge pop-up that comes when you go right to my website. It's a pop-up. You get 25% off for signing up for the email list. So that's a lot of people that are in Georgia, outside of Georgia, all over the world, that are on my email list that I am advertising to. And it's a lot of people who are on the email list for 5 or 6 months before they even book anything. So be able to like reel those people in and be able to get their information before they leave from off of your site or Instagram or whatever.
Definitely entice them, make it even more
Right.
desirable for them to book with you. So I definitely agree with that. Speaking on that topic, let's talk about pricing. How do you feel like pricing affects getting clients through the door to begin with? Do you feel like, okay, you need to be priced cheap to get people in starting off, or price how what you're worth? Like,
Okay.
how do you feel about
So
pricing?
this is the analogy that I use for that. Okay. So when you're in the store and you get something that's cheap, you in your mind you go, I don't really need that. Like say if you go into the store and get a pair of flip flops, you'll pick up a few different pair of flip flops and be like, I don't know if I really need that. I'm gonna go ahead and put that back. But if you pick up that valuable shoe that you know for a fact that you're gonna get your money's worth out of it, then
Mhm.
you're gonna cling to that shoe. You're gonna cling to it. And so one thing that I've learned in business now, I didn't just come out of school just out the gate charging what I'm charging now, but it wasn't super, super cheap either. But people respect your business more when your price point is at industry level. But if people think that you're too cheap, they feel like that you don't have the skill set just yet as of, a different company or somewhere else. That's kind of how I operate as well. If I see a massage therapist and they're charging $25 to $30 for an hour, and I'm like, are y'all just trying to get your chops up right now? Like, what's going on? But that other person who's charging like 90 to whatever for that hour, okay, so there's a little bit more value there. But I just wanted to make sure that you kind of gradually go there out of school. Don't just like come out of school and then just go right at industry, but also make sure that you're kind of like right there in the industry level as well.
I actually have students who take my classes and charge uh, straight out the gate $500 for permanent makeup, which is, the normal range for an established artist, right? But for a beginner artist,
Mm-hmm.
it's not really, it doesn't make sense. So I definitely agree. It definitely should make sense. Not necessarily have to be the cheapest, can be in that range and then gradually move up the more experience that you get
Mm-hmm.
and the more better at it you become. Personally for me coming up, I'm not gonna lie, I was cheap. Charging $100 for permanent makeup. I didn't care what your eyebrows look like. It could be horrible brows that I'm covering up. Like, I didn't care. I wanted the experience of everything. I needed the clients, I needed the experience, I needed everything. That's what worked for me in the moment. Now, I wasn't $100 for long. I stayed there for about a few months, probably a month or two, and then I gradually went up. It just has to make sense. I needed the content. That's mainly why the experience and the content is mainly why I was so low and so cheap. And then again, once I got the experience and et cetera that I needed in the portfolio, that's when I gradually went up. Now I didn't go from $100 to $500 overnight. I gradually went up what I felt more comfortable. I'm gonna charge what I feel like, no shade, no tea. Like I feel like I
Mm-hmm.
was worth 100 at that moment. I did not. I was very, very new and I was very honest with people. I'm new. This is what I'm charging, and etc.
Mm-hmm.
And people respect honesty. So that's how I started, and I got my portfolio up, my experience, and then I gradually grew from there. I got to 500 maybe 2 years later.
Mm-hmm.
That's how long it took me. I feel like pricing does dictate the type of clients you get as well. So if you are pricing your permanent makeup tattooing at $100, best believe
Right.
you're gonna get those $100 clients. No shade, no tea. Um, that's the only thing about it is your pricing is gonna dictate what type of clientele that you have, which is really on you. Once I got to a certain point in my career, I felt like I worked hard enough to where okay, I only want to deal with my target audience,
Mm-hmm.
my clients. You know what I mean? And honestly, the higher you go,
Mm-hmm.
the better the clients. To be honest, and that's in any industry. So yeah, it's okay being booked and busy, but charging super cheap for a long time just to be booked and busy, I don't feel is smart. Um, it's okay to go up to know your worth. I always say you work smarter, not harder. Um, and I always say don't rely solely on services to consider yourself booked and busy. You can be booked and busy in other ways and other avenues. So don't get caught up in overworking yourself. Um,
Mm-hmm.
getting clients and doing services. Passive income, I feel like, is a needed technique on top of services, and not just rely solely on, okay,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't work that day, you don't get paid. Most, no, all successful businesses think that way. So just keep that in mind. So again, don't think that, okay, it's smart to charge super low on services, and that's going to get you booked and busy, but
Mm-hmm.
not in the way that is desirable. You're going to be overworking yourself, tired. Um, know that you can up your price and go to what
Mm-hmm.
you're worth and still be booked. That's realistic. So don't think that's not realistic. It is. Just be smart about it. Get the experience, get the content. Content matters. When being booked and busy, people are going to look at your content first. Remember the 8 seconds that they're going to be on your profile? They're going to look at your content. The videos is what's going to get most engagement. Posts is cool, but those reels and those video posts, that's going to get the most engagement. Out of all that, the reels are going to get you the most engagement. That's going to reach an audience outside of who follows you. You know what I mean? Saves and people replying to those posts that you make, that's going to help you get to the explore page as well, like your engagement in general, which reels will definitely help you. So we talked about pricing. It has to make sense. We talked about Facebook Marketplace, Groupon. We kind of touched on referrals. Did you have anything else to touch on as
Um,
far as referrals?
no, it's just a type of system of referrals that I feel like works it has worked the best for me is actually using referral cards. So actually handing your
Mm.
client the actual referral card and them hand it to someone else so that person could come in. Those referral cards, or even you can have e-cards or something like that. Something that they can give to a friend. Those really work really well. And also really, if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, most of my clients are nurses, and a lot of my clients are nurses, are in real estate, because most of my referrals, what I would do is on the internet, and I look for different nurses or different real estate agents that are in the area, and I reach out to them, get them in for a service, because all of their information is there. All of their information is online, phone number and all. Reach out to them, get them in, give them a referral card to refer to their friends. Most of their friends are in the same industry as them. So it's going to grow like a wildfire, because those type of people, they have disposable income to come to your business all year, like all year. So they have disposable income all year. So most of my clients work at Wellstar, and most of my clients work in real estate in Cobb County, because those are the people that I specifically marketed to, and I pretty much went and grabbed those people, and I didn't kind of wait for them to come to me. I pretty much went and grabbed them.
You touched on a lot of good subject as far as getting those clients who have disposable income. That's very smart. Those are the type of clients who don't
Right.
think twice and just get it done. We talked about Facebook Marketplace referrals. Let's talk about staying consistent. Um, People think that being an entrepreneur just means, okay, let me just work hard for a month. Let me just grind real hard for a month, and let me just relax the next month, and things are going to stay consistent. That's wrong. Being an entrepreneur means that you are working every day, all day to keep up. You have to stay on top of everything. If not, you're going to be running behind. Um, Learning time management will help you. If you are doing everything in your business, and I mean your content, you're doing your graphics, you're doing everything to a T, that's going to take away time where you can actually put in your business as far as growing it more. I feel like um, automation will help you in the long run as far as time management. Automation meaning that schedule your posts, line it up, spend a couple hours or so and line up your posts for the next couple weeks or a month. So that way it's going without you even having to be there all the time or every day. Or your marketing, your email marketing, your text marketing, schedule those posts or schedule those texts, schedule those emails, line it all up. That way you can spend less time doing that stuff every day and more time focusing on your actual business.
Just hitting off what Keisha said, you can't, especially in business, you can't pour from an empty cup. And that was one of my main downfalls when I first started, because and when you're first starting, you feel like you're busy and everything. It's pretty much like you're like, okay, I'm doing something. But after a few months of doing that, you realize that you're so depleted that my business has not scaled. My business is still making the same numbers that it did. And my business is not growing because I have no room for it to grow. And after I started, working smarter and not harder, and actually using these tools that are out there to work for me, that helps a lot, especially when it comes to like you said, email marketing, text message marketing, and stuff like that. It's a lot of engines out here that it's called like online assistants and stuff like that, which they'll actually reach out to you and say, hey, this would be good to advertise this month, or whatever, the case might be. Or you can, what I do is the first of the month, what I do is I bulk everything that I'm going to do for that entire month. And so for that whole entire 30 days, I'm just working what I've already put out there. And also, as far as marketing, a lot of people say, well, I don't know to market. I'm not sure what to market. And that goes all the way back to, do you have a business plan? So if you have a solid business plan, nobody should be out here confused on what to market, because that should be in your business plan. Uh-huh. So that goes all the way back to make sure you have solid paperwork. And how I was taught from my business coach. A lot of people put stuff in their iPads and their phones and stuff like that. That stuff gets in there, gets lost, and we never look at it again. But if you have this stuff in solid paperwork and you're going through each and every month, day, and every sale, then it'll be a lot easier for you. So right now, we're already about to go into January, if I should ask you, okay, what does your business have going on in the summertime? You shouldn't be thinking about, okay, well, we could do this. Your whole entire next year should already be planned. And you're just kind of like going along with it. Okay, I know I have this going on, so let me go ahead and create some text message marketing that's going to correspond with this type of deal that I want to have for this month. So that helps a lot too. When you prioritize, you don't feel like you're going nowhere fast. You don't feel like you're going around in a big circle, because a lot of businesses, especially young business owners, within the first 2 years, I would say, will make or break your business because of the lack of planning. So when it comes to marketing, you have to be very strategic with it, and you have to be very, I would say, on time with it, because if you're pretty much today, like say Christmas was tomorrow, and you just now, okay, well, let me think about what I'm going to do for Christmas, you won't be able to survive like that long, because you cannot scale a business on an empty cup, pretty much. So that's the only thing I had to add to that.
Some good points that you brought up. Okay, so we talked about staying consistent. Let's talk about retention. Retention is a good one because it's one thing with getting clients, but it's another thing to actually keep them. So retention will play a big part of keeping you booked and busy. You know what I mean? Not just getting you there, but keeping you there. So a lot of the retention goes into, okay, your customer service. How good of a work do you actually do? How professional are you? Things like that will play a part in the retention. Clients rebooking you. Um, you can also add, different incentives for clients to rebook you again, like the next service, you can get such and such off, or you can add like a little gift bag. You want to keep them coming back. You see what I'm saying? Professionalism, as far as no one wants to book with someone and they keep canceling, or they're steady late, or whatever the case is, they're just inconsistent. So remaining professional will play a huge part in the retention. Tasha, did you want to add anything as far as
For
retention?
me, pretty much having like little like dainty things in my treatment room, like water, juice, wine, stuff like that. That helps a lot because the demographic that I promote to, they're used to luxury. So I want to be able to withhold that standard. And so to make sure like especially like from the 40 and 50 crew, when they come in, you pretty much have no room for error. So you got to make sure all your T's are crossed and all your I's are dotted. So different like hospitality things like that, greeting people with a smile, and like Keisha said, make sure you're on time. That's one of the biggest things, and that's one of the just for me scrolling on social media and seeing like different people's issues with a lot of young Black businesses is punctuality. And so just make sure that anything like that can kind of put people like a bad taste in people's mouth about your business, just make sure that you're always professional, punctual, and have like good hospitality.
So, speaking of retention, I do have a question for you. How do you feel about uh, deposits? There's some businesses that, are more lenient as far as deposits, cancellation fees. Um, they feel like this plays a part in getting the clients and keeping the clients because it isn't as strict.
Um,
How do you feel about
I
that?
am very pro deposit. Um, ah, I am very
Okay.
I am very pro
Okay.
deposit only
Pro
because
deposit.
a lot of people will inquire about something, but if they're serious about it, they'll put a deposit down only because in my business is just me. So if my schedule gets filled up with a lot of hypotheticals, then I don't have room for people who actually really want to book and actually really want to have the services done. So my when I first started, my deposits were only $20. And I used to have not a lot, but enough to be frustrated, like the no call, no shows and stuff like that. And I was like, I got to up it up. I got to make it a little higher. So when I went to $50 and like the higher packages, those deposits are different. Um, I hardly ever have no call, no shows because a lot of people are not going to pay money to get a service done, that type of money, and then just not show up. If they, and I also have I
Exactly.
have late fees that are in place because if someone's late, pretty much pushing back my entire day, and I make sure that they have agreed in the terms and conditions that however late you show up, that's how much time is going to be cut off of your service, because I don't want to inconvenience someone else because you're not respecting my time. And I also have I if you just no call no show, I do charge for that as well. So I make sure I put different things in place to weed out all of the hypothetical people and just only have the people in there who are serious about my services.
And I completely agree. I'm also not one of the businesses that feel like deposits and cancellation fees and sticking with your policies does not deter clients, the right clients, away from your business. So don't believe that, okay, I shouldn't have to do a deposit. I shouldn't have to do this. Da, da, da. I don't want to do this because I want to get as many clients as I want to. Um, I too, at one point of another, charge a super low deposit. I believe $30, but people don't really take that serious. So I had a lot of no shows, wasting my time. A lot of appointments were booked where other clients could have booked. Um, it was just a lot of money being, you know, thrown down the drain because people weren't respecting my time. So whoever is serious
Right.
with booking with you, they don't mind paying. Those who will respect your business and respect your policies will have no problem book with you. And those are the people that you
Mm-hmm.
want to book with you anyway. More things, and then we're gonna wrap this up. How do you feel about looking at the competition when you are advertising, you're doing your pricing, etc., content, anything? How do you feel about looking at your
Oh yeah,
competition in your
looking, that's
area?
my playground. Is looking at the competition. When it comes to my business, I don't have tunnel vision. I don't want to have tunnel vision because it could be something that someone else is doing that's working out for them that I could be implementing into my business. Studying the competition, um, and there is competition. How a lot of people say it's not no competition. It is. This is business, and so the wheel
Okay,
has
it
always
is.
been the same. You know, it's different ways to spin it, but the wheel is always the same, all the way from business owners back in the 60s, 90s. Everybody has always studied the competition. And so what I do is I wouldn't have known because, you know, as an African American black girl, we didn't just grow up in the spa world. Okay. So it's a lot of things that I had to learn about the spa world that was beyond what they can teach me in school and everything like that. So I had to go inside of these different businesses and see what a successful wheel looks like. So I couldn't just go off of the mind of myself and the mind of my business mindset at the time because I have to admit I didn't know anything, you know. And so my main thing, I don't like to study like the competition of like the spa just right, like, you know, spas that I feel like are on the same level as me, or a spa that I feel like I'm kind of like a little more advanced in. I want to know about the big spas, the multi-million-dollar spas, because I want to make sure that I'm mirroring my business model and pretty much the aesthetics of my business after a business who has already hit that $1 million mark and that multi-million-dollar mark. And even if you like working retail, you need to be studying places like Macy's, Bloomingdale's, and stuff like that. Because I used to be a manager there. So a lot of the different sales that we do, a lot of us did this Belk, all of us, we did the same type of sales because it was the same exact wheel. We just was rolling it a little bit differently. And so I would say make sure that you expose yourself to your industry and don't just stay inside of your little bubble, because someone may have a grand idea and that could work well for your business and you could just execute and put your own little touches on it. But studying the industry, that would be that would be something that you definitely need to do, because best believe somebody who's coming up underneath you is studying you. So make sure that you give them a run for their money.
Exactly. I feel like you touched on everything as far as studying your competition. And I definitely agree that you should study your competition. You have to know what's going on. It's constantly,
Mm-hmm.
things are constantly evolving, and you have to make sure that you're keeping up with things around you. If not, then you're kind of out of the loop. You're still back to, you know what I mean? Like you have to grow
Mm-hmm.
with the world, if that makes sense. You have to keep up. A couple more questions, and then we're gonna wrap things up. Let's talk about celebrities. Let's talk about how what works with getting celebrities.
So for me, I kind of got my celebrity clients just a little different, only because Atlanta is so small and everyone knows everyone here. So my first celebrity client was Perez, and Perez put up a post basically saying I need a good facial in Atlanta. I had a lot of people comment my name under the post, and then Perez came, and then of course Perez and Tamar are friends. And then so after that I was also contacted by Tokyo, and so all of them kind of run in the same group. But one thing that I see a lot of people make huge mistakes is they hop in the celebrities inboxes offering all types of free stuff. That's something that you don't want to do because your business is not respected a lot at that point. Okay. So what you want to do is also always make sure that how you would treat your regular client, treat that celebrity the same way, because they will respect you. So if the celebrity, if their appointment is at 3 o'clock and they're telling you, well, I ain't gonna be there till 4 o'clock, and you're like, okay, what you don't want to do, you don't want to be a pushover, because you always want to keep the integrity of your business, but just don't sell yourself
Mm-hmm.
short to get a celebrity client. Become the solid person that you are to get the celebrity clients. So when they come to you, they know, okay, well, she ain't no joke. Like, she, go to her, she's real solid in the industry. But what you don't want to do is start offering all types of free things and this and that. I know a lot of people do a lot of offer free services for promo. That's different. But I know a lot of people just see a celebrity and just give them anything they want, and they just truly lose the integrity of their business. And that's what you don't want to do to grow your celebrity clientele.
Yep, I definitely agree. Me is hashtags. Everyone uses hashtags, even celebrities uses hashtags. So use all of 30 hashtags under each post. I use every single one of them. And make sure it's keywords that relates directly
Mm-hmm.
into like what you're posting. So that way, people can find you. Make sure you're entering the city, the state, etc., the service, anything around the service, even anything related to the service, not actually the service, but related to it. Make sure you add that under the post. And that's what helped me. That's how celebrities like Lala Anthony, Coyle Ray, have reached out to me, is by hashtags. So even celebrities uses
Right.
hashtags, so don't sleep on them. In closing, I do want to mention that everything is a trial and error. You're going to be constantly working or trying things out and taking what works and leaving what doesn't. That's going to be an ongoing cycle within business and entrepreneurship altogether. So just keep that in mind. Did you want to say anything before we close out, Miss
I
Tasha?
do want to say, like, anything that we told you, stuff, things that work, just make sure in your business, just make sure you're consistent. If you see that something works, make sure you hone in on that and magnify it. Um because that consistency is that's what's going to separate you from your competition. And that's what's going to push you ahead a lot quicker, because there's a lot of business out here that will grow and scale in just the first few years, and other times it takes them like 10 years to get where other people have done in just a few years. So with that consistency, just make sure you hone in on what's working and magnify it.
All right. So thank you guys so much for watching our webinar. I hope you all learned a lot, because we did spill some gems, some things that you can really take with you to help you grow. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great night.